Hey there, grumpy old fart here. I'm doing a cryptid encounters video, but this is more about the government cover-ups around them. Before I get into this though, if you enjoy my content, it would really help me out if you could hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share my content on all of your social media platforms, and post a comment or two. Remember, I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. And check me out over on Rumble for my political commentary and weekly current events. If you enjoy a good book, check out my author page on Amazon.com. My pen name is H.L. Anderson. You can find all of my books there, including a fun story about a house in New Orleans where the monsters all hang out. It's called The House Off Farrago Road. It's just a fun story I wrote, and I just had a lot of fun writing it. I'm hoping to do a second one, but I haven't got that far yet. I've had a request for a second one, so we'll see how that goes. My wife tells me it's my best work, so hope you get it, hope you like it. All right, here we go. Government cover-ups of cryptids. We all know the government hides stuff from us. JFK, 9/11, UFOs and aliens, etc. We've all heard about the Men in Black. I've done videos on them. Hell, they've made movies about them. Beyond that, there is ample evidence that UFOs and alien contact has been covered up by the various governments of the world. Some of them actually published their information. Like France was really good about it, I think. Brazil too, I think. Dr. Stephen Greer has his Disclosure Project, which seeks to release all of this hidden information and data. And I'm all in favor of that. I'm not a fan of Stephen Greer because his personal thing is he takes drugs to talk to aliens. But but the Disclosure Project is great. I would love for that to happen. What is not discussed very often is the government cover-up of cryptids. We know for a fact that the U.S. military has an entry in a training manual, a military training manual, that warns soldiers of possible contact with Sasquatch in California. Yeah, hairy hominids. We know that in many Sasquatch cases, U.S. military personnel have cordoned off the area and warned people away. That is documented. We know that the U.S. military conducted an extensive search after several Mothman sightings. It's not just Bigfoot. Although I saw an article, I have not been able to research it yet, but I saw an article saying that the U.S. government declassified a FBI, or I think it was an FBI document that shows that they were hiding evidence of Bigfoot. So I don't know. We know that in Alaska, the U.S. military has conducted extensive searches for the big hairy man, Bigfoot's bigger, meaner cousin. See my video on the Portlock Predator. We know that in the Bridgewater Triangle, Mount Shasta, Mount St. Helens, Devil's Tower, Wyoming, the Mark Twain National Forest, the land between the lakes, Sedona, Arizona, Archuleta Mesa, there at Dulce, New Mexico, Mount Hood, Chimney Rock, North Carolina, Taos Ranch, Skinwalker Ranch, Chestnut Ridge, Pennsylvania, and in Hawaii, as well as many other paranormal hotspots, the U.S. military has conducted investigations in search of cryptids of all kinds. These are all documented by numerous individual eyewitnesses. So the details corroborate each other, but the witnesses don't know about each other. It's not a hoax if they can't. If it's not a conspiracy if they don't know about each other. You see what I'm saying? It can't be a coordinated hoax if they're not coordinating. After the Mount St. Helens eruption, multiple witnesses reported seeing U.S. military personnel removing the dead bodies of badly burned, large, hairy hominids. These were not humans. Oklahoma is regularly beset by groups of secretive military personnel conducting quote-unquote training maneuvers. These maneuvers usually coincide with the sightings of wood apes. In the early 70s, a reported sighting by military personnel prompted a month-long quote-unquote training maneuver, which blanketed the entire area. And this was where an entire town had seen these things. Yeah, and several in the town, the military went to investigate, and the military had seen one of these things, and so the military really put some effort into finding them. Now, here's the thing. Either these cryptids exist or they don't. If they don't exist, then the U.S. military seems willing to waste a shitload of time, money, fuel, and other resources in these futile searches. It would also mean that there are millions of people in the U.S. alone who suffer from serious delusions. But if they do exist, how can our government not know about them? Have all these searches been completely fruitless? Or have these searches borne serious fruit and they have evidence, as like from the Mount St. Helens story above, to prove it? We don't know. It's crazy. Given our government's penchant for keeping stuff hidden, one has to assume that they know something about these cryptids. They're just not talking. In North Carolina, I talked to a police officer who said that he had seen one, a lizard man type thing. I think I did a video about it. Perhaps Dr. Stephen Greer should expand his disclosure project to include cryptid information. I'm sure we'd all appreciate knowing what our tax dollars fund. Another Bigfoot researcher, and forgive me for not remembering her name, asked a very good question. If the government knows these cryptids exist, are they in communication with them? There has been a long running story about a U.S. president meeting with aliens on an airbase and creating some kind of a treaty with them. I don't recall the particulars offhand, but that I know that story does exist. I want to say it was Eisenhower, but don't quote me. Is it possible that some U.S. president in the past has ordered a treaty be signed with whatever cryptid governing body there may be? It would explain a lot. People see Sasquatch and other cryptids on a daily basis, and physical evidence abounds. We've got, casts of footprints. We've got hair that can't be identified, pictures, videos, you name it. But the government will not acknowledge them. Military personnel have seen them, and yet the government says they do not exist. Recently, the U.S. government acknowledged that UFOs exist after at least 70 years of denial. 70 years of denial. How long will it be before the government admits that Bigfoot and or other cryptids are real? That is definitely something to think about. I would like to know. I don't know about you, but I'd like to know. Hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good one. And if you have other information or different stories about seeing a creature like this in conjunction with a military exercise, quote unquote, put it in the comments. I'm sure we'd love to read them. You folks have a good one. God bless one and all.